welcome everybody. Welcome. You're welcome everybody. You're welcome to another edition of one to one live session with Adenike Inspires. Real conversations spark real transformation. Thank you everyone for coming. Thanks for joining. Please, as you're joining, can you please let us know where you are streaming from? Can we please know where you are watching us from this afternoon? You are welcome as you're joining us. This is Adenike Inspires. This is a channel where real conversations spark real transformation. And today we are diving into a very timely and meaningful topic, which is the power of starting over and over again. The power of starting over and over again. Because if we have to be sincere with ourselves, life doesn't really go as planned. Sometimes we fall, sometimes we get stuck, and sometimes we just have to reset. Thank you so much, Akiza. Thank you so much from Ipswich. You are welcome, Mama. Please let's endeavor to share this live to someone who needs encouragement so they will be able to join us right now. Thank you for coming on board. Yesterday, you are welcome, Ma. You are welcome, Big C. Thank you so much for joining. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Adenike Inspires. Where real conversations spark real transformation. Yes, and today we are diving into a meaningful and a timely topic, which says the power of starting over and over again. Like I said, life doesn't always go as planned. I think the next network has make our gate freeze.
Yes,
Yes,
sorry. I was just
thank you
trying
so much.
to share the link to everyone.
Yeah, thank
I
you.
sent the one
Thank
you
you so
said
much.
to me first. I've sent it to all the group, WhatsApp group we have. Yeah,
Thank
sorry.
you so much, Ma. So,
No.
like I said, life doesn't always go as planned sometimes. Sometimes we fall, sometimes we get stuck, and sometimes we just have to reset. But guess what? There is strength, there is courage, and there is beauty in choosing to begin again. And today I'm not doing this alone. Yes, I'm not doing this alone. I'm here with a special guest joining me to be able to unpack and unwrap this powerful topic today. My mommy, she's a mother, she's a mentor, she's a coach, she's a leader. Like seriously, let me just say this thing that I'm doing. I can say she's part of those people that really prompt me to start this program. Sincerely speaking, she could understand better. Like seriously, and I'm very grateful for that. Sincerely speaking, because she told me something the first day I met her. She said, "This time you need to make use of it wisely. And just get something to do. Don't say you want just to stay, you get so like seriously, I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that because I'm seeing the result. It may not be as what I already planned or maybe I'm not really getting into the to my own the result I really want, but at least I'm getting something from it. And this is the reason why she'll be joining me today to unpack this topic. Mrs. Fumi. I said she's a mentor, she's a coach, she's a leader, she's a mother, she's everything. And Oga Pata of them was she's the founder of DM Support. Please let me welcome her. So if you're watching this right now, make sure you grab a tea because she's going to unpack it sincerely. And the insights she'll be giving us today will definitely inspire you. And let's like and share to someone that needs encouragement. So let's dive in. You are welcome to one-to-one live session with Adenike.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Adenike, for inviting me. It's a
You're
pretty
welcome, man.
highly humble to be here. It's always good when we women come together as well to encourage each other and to support each other.
Yeah.
You very much. And yes, we're here to unpack the truth and
Yes.
let's go for it.
Yeah, thank you, man. So the topic is the powerful of starting over and over again.
Yes.
Before we ask you, because I believe just in the comment section we also have some questions to ask you. I just want you to tell us what does that phrase really mean? The power of starting over and over again. If you can just give us an insight. And that's
You
what
know,
is smart.
when I asked you what's the topic, and you said, "Oh, the power of starting over," and I'm like, "That's the story of my life."
Wow.
That's exactly the story of my life. Starting
Wow. Wow.
over for me, starting over means that you're not giving up. That's
Hmm.
for me. Whatever comes our way, whatever we go through in life, whichever path we find ourselves, starting over basically means you not giving. And that's the story of my life, to be honest with you, even with where I am right now. Because when you start over, it doesn't mean you failed. It means that you learned something and you refuse to give up. You're still going to pursue that goal. But the advantage of starting over is you're not starting from scratch again. Every time you start over, you're starting with a lesson learned. You've learned something from what you failed from, and you're starting with experience. So, no matter how many times you start over anything in your life, whether a project, whether motherhood, whether starting a new relationship, whatever it is, you're starting with an experience, not from scratch. So that is what starting over really means in my personal life, in the process of running BME, and in whatever things I do every day. So yes, that is it for me in a nutshell.
All right, ma. If you have to look at it again, the topic is the power. Can you just try to unwrap the meaning of that power? Like the
Mhm.
power in starting. That power, what exactly is that power in starting
The
over and over again?
power of starting over is the focus. You must
Hmm.
never lose focus in life. You know, anything you go through, when you're growing up, all of us, as we're growing up as a young person, whether it's a young man or as a young woman, you always have a dream. You don't know how it's going to be, where it's going to be. You always have something you want to do with your life, but you might not know how you're going to get there. And that's the focus. So no matter what you're going through, that power in you is the focus of what you want to do with your life. And so every time you fall and every time you fail, you must stay on that focus in life to say, this is what I want to do, but I don't know how to do it. I don't have the resource. I don't even know where to go. But once you stay on that focus, one way or the other, you'll find the strength to be able to start navigating. How do I get, how do I solve this problem? How do I reach this goal? So the power of starting over is you keeping the focus on what you want. So I give you a small example. You know, anyone in my entire life is going to tell me that I'm going to start running. I'm going to set up a community organization. I will argue. They say, me, what am I doing for our community? My background, I studied BSc. I have a degree in BSc pharmaceutical science
Wow.
in this country, and a postgraduate in, I'm a certified project manager in Prince
Wow.
2, both foundational and practitioner.
Hmm.
But as the journey of life takes you, you realize that you go in another path, not because you don't want to go into what you focus on, but because the journey of life has shifted your focus. You find your purpose and your meaning in what you are doing. So, like I said again, the focus, the power is the focus. Knowing that wherever you find yourself in life, and whichever way, whatever it is that you're doing, you have the focus of, I want to do this, or I want to become better in this. But in whatever we're doing in life, let's not lose the focus of what we've always wanted to be, and what we always want to do, and what we always want to achieve. And that's what I always tell everyone. Everyone I meet in my life, even before I started me, I've always told people to say, you're not always going to have it together. If you're waiting to say, "Oh, I'll wait till my life is balanced, then I'll do this," life is never going to balance. Life is a journey. It's a straight dot. We're continuing till we reach the T junction. So life is never going to be balanced. But what you can do is, while you're going through life, wherever stop you have, start where you are with what you have, and then see where that's taking you. Started doing what I'm doing right now. So the power is the focus. Never lose focus. Never, never lose focus on anything you want to do.
I like it. Thank you so much, Ma, from saying it from that perspective as well. And another thing is this, we have some people that they really wish to begin again, but they are having this fear of starting over again. Because we are, just like you said, you have BSc in pharmaceutical, you just look at the certificate you have with a very good grade. But we have a lot of people that they have even more than that. And they were like, if I should start again. So there are people will bully me, they will shame me that, oh, why am I starting again? For that kind of people, what can you say about that, ma'am?
One of the things I'll first say to you is, don't think about what people will say, what people will do. There's not You can never please human being. Oh. For me, I always say that when you're in a journey, you're in this journey alone, because you're the one that knows the reason why you want to start. You know,
Yeah.
you're the one that knows the reason why, and you're the one that knows what you want to achieve with that thing you want to say, you want to do. So you don't hold anybody any explanation. The moment you think you're accountable to people's question, you're never gonna get anywhere. You're
Mm,
never going to
that's
get
true.
anywhere. The moment you think, what will people say? What will people think? How will No, you're not accountable to anybody. Even if you do it the right way, people will still say what they want to say. So, like I said again, it's focus. Knowing why you want to start something, and make sure your goals and your aims align with why you started something. I'll tell you today that if I haven't had immigration problem in my life, I would never have said I want to start any community. Sometimes you need to have a problem for you to find a purpose.
Yes.
You need, right? That everyone listening to you need to have a problem in your life for you to find your one of the things you can do for yourself is, when you have that problem, don't let it overwhelm you. Be present in that problem. Understand your what that problem is telling you. When you come out of that problem, write down the lesson you've learned. And then the lesson you've learned, you can either do two things with it. You can decide not to do anything about it, or you can decide to say, you know what, I'm going to do something about it. And when you decide to do something positively about it, then that's why you failed. Because you then realize your purpose in life. In my life, I have failed several times, more than 5 times in this country. They don't just feel like, oh, I didn't pass an exam. No. This is an entire failure that I lost everything I've worked for in this country. Not once, not twice, not the third time. I'm telling you, 5 times. And I'm having to start all over again. I back and say, all my mates that went to school together, or they've done this, or they've done that. How am I gonna even tell them at that point I don't even have this to do this? I won't be where I am. That's why starting over is an individual journey. You don't need to tell people why you need to do something or why you want to do something. You're the one that knows what you've been through and why you want to do what you want to do. So every time I love writing a lot. I always don't just do everything in your brain. Whatever your brain is doing is processing. Always write it down. Because our life is like a fast moving train. The
Yes.
moment something pops in your head, write it down because we're so busy in life with children, with motherhood, with our parents, with our siblings, with our work, with everything, that that we don't have the time to reflect. But when you write it down, oh, oh, so I'm gonna tell someone out there who want to start all over again, please don't give up. Because by starting all over again, it means you're staying in front of that mountain in front of you. You're confronting it every time. I'm saying, I'm going to find a way to climb to the other side. You're facing it head on. And when I tell people that I used to volunteer for citizen advice for over 2 years, I didn't get paid. And that's one of the problems we have in our community. When something is not giving us money, whoa, I work at bridge, Jare. Ah, everything is money. Sometimes you need to create a platform to learn, to understand how things are done. Like I said, I went through hell with immigration issue, and I'm still going through it. People don't believe me. People think my life is settled now. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. No, honestly, I'm telling you the truth. No, I'm still going through it. But I've decided to say, you know what? At least at this stage that I am, I've learned something. I'm not where I used to be in this process. And the things I have learned, I'm going to use it to start something. I'm not going to wait till everything is okay because sometimes when then everything is okay, you don't have the motivation anymore. You're like, well, it doesn't affect me anymore. It doesn't concern me anymore. Why should I do anything about it? So do something about it while you're still going through it. And that's what I say to people that if you know any information or any power, any knowledge that can improve people's life, use it positively. That's it. Use it positively within ourselves, within our community. One of the mistakes we always made is this. When people go through stuff, because the thing they went, maybe it took them 20 years or 10 years to achieve, and somebody else just coming in and then that's in that same situation. Instead for you to show them the right way to go, they will send you the wrong way to go because they want to suffer the way they suffer. And that wanted to change that narrative. So until we start, so that is you knowing the purpose of why you want to do something. So you don't need to tell anyone why you're doing something or why you're over. But you, the person starts need to know why and what I want to achieve for it. And I don't need to explain why I love something. But I want to encourage each and everyone to say that you need to have open minded when you want to start all over again. When how the system works. You have all this degree and you can't even get an office job. The working class, not because you're not qualified, not because you can't do the job. You know you can, but the way the system is structured, you just say unfortunately you've not been successful. Then what do? Go through volunteering route. Yes, because even though you're not money how to pay, but at least that will give you an experience to get your foot into the door. Once that system, then when a vacancy comes out, you're already part of the system. You already know how it works. These are some of the sacrifice we have to go through as a migrant in order to be in the field we want or in the career or anything we want to do. It's a sacrifice. because come here as a migrant, and sometimes it's a transition. Sometimes you might think, oh, I know how to do it, but the things where you're from, where the system works is different way the thing works where sometimes you need to sacrifice without looking at monetary values into it. And those are some of the practical things I have done in my life, and those are some of the practical things I am still doing. Grow. You must learn to sacrifice your time, your researching, you know, in you, the people that you see that they're doing that same thing. Look into their page, look into what they're doing. How are they doing it? Do I have this skill? If you don't have it, then go and learn it. And all of this is self-work. It's not you telling anyone, it's you knowing where you want to go, where you want to be, and what you want to achieve. So that's one of the things I will say to anyone that want to start all over again. I say, where will I find the courage? Start with volunteering. If it's something related to work, if it's something related to motherhood, look for a community group that can empower. If it's training into parenting, there's loads of free trainings. But the thing you want to start all over again, have the mindset to say, I have to sacrifice. If it's money, because that sacrifice is what will give you a platform to get your foot into the door of where you want to go. Yeah, I don't know if that answers your question.
Yes, yes, it really does. Thank you so much, ma. Thank you, ma. Yes, another thing is this, ma. You said something. You said sometimes maybe when there is a problem, or maybe we are encountering a problem,
Yeah.
like we should try as much as possible to make use of that time. But
Mm.
we have some people that they are going through one or two things right now. The question now goes, how are we going to know the exact time to start over again? Is it always when we are in problem or when we are facing one or two things that we can start all over again, or there are other times someone can start over again? How exactly are we going to know the right time to start again?
So you see, there's no time scale. To
Hmm.
be honest with you, there's no time scale. Everybody's situation is different and everybody's timing is different. So individual people will know. You will definitely know. When because but some of the things you need to put into consideration is whatever you do shouldn't jeopardize family values. I always tell people we shouldn't put career over family. We shouldn't put goals or achievement. So whatever you want to do first, if you are a mother or father or brothers or sisters, don't let your ambition overpower family values. That's the only condition I have for people. To say that you can start anything at any time, but always make sure you still create time for family values. And the reason is this: you can build career at any time. You can achieve anything at any time of your life. Believe me. You can start anything at any time, but you cannot do family values at any time. You cannot. Because the moment your children have grown that past age, the moment you've created that gap between you and your spouse, the moment you're not available to create foundational strength in your household, once that stage is gone, you can't come back and buy it. That's the only condition. But if you think stage you have now, you're able to combine your family values with you starting all over again in anything you want to do, then you can. Some people feel they have the ability and the resource to start, which is good. You can start then. Or some people wait with, you know what, I don't have it all together. I'm going to start with these little things I know first. How do I? So there's no timing. It all depends on individual circumstances and situations. Like me now, all my life I've always worked part time. When my kids was little, when my children were little, I worked. Even though I was getting paid penny. I didn't know. I didn't mind. I cut my coat according to my size, making sure that I take my kids to school. I bring them back. I sit down and do their homework. I sit down and do this. I sit down and do that with them. I make sure they bath very well. They do all the things they're supposed to do until they were old enough to go to school themselves and come back. Even at that time, I make sure I'm already at home when they come back to make
Hmm.
sure I ask them, how was school today? How is this? How is that? My kids are now in high school. I know that I have built that foundation. It's so firm. They know that mom is available to talk to at any time. They know that no one can tell them, don't tell your parents. They say, no, this one, my mother must hear it. Because you build the relationship with them. They know that as soon as they enter the house, even though I'm still at work, they must call me to say, "Mom, this is what has happened." So you must build a foundation with your children. That's one of the things I said. And I know people say, oh, why does it have to be women alone? Because we God gave women to be pregnant with those babies. Men can only, they cannot.
Exactly.
There's no, it just like they said, orishabi yausi, it
Hmm. That's true.
means like mother. Because
Hmm.
for the fact that you're carrying that baby in your belly, you have that connection. That has given us that core connection with the children that the men don't have.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, it's just as simple as that. Dad can do as much as they can as that fatherly role, which is important. But as a mother, you need to do more than 90 something percent of it. It's just so that's one of the things I'll say, that as mother, you must make your. I know that we come here, especially for us as migrants, is very difficult because from where we're coming from, there's a lot of financial pressure. People expect
Yeah.
to send money home. People expect that since you get here now, life is better, everything is rosy, rosy. They don't understand.
Yeah.
But it's up to you to set your priorities. Once you explain to them, this is my situation at this point, I cannot do more than this. If they like, they accept it. If they like, they don't believe you. But you know you set your truth and you focus
Hmm.
on setting foundation for your family. Because if anything goes wrong, everyone move on. The people that suffer
Exactly.
is your immediate family, your husband or your wife or your children. So that's why I'm always saying, whatever you pursue in life, make sure your family values exceed all those goals and you're available. But there's no particular time. You cannot start all of it. The main thing is how ready.
Hmm.
You can
Yeah.
start. How ready are you? That's the important thing.
Exactly.
How
Yes.
ready are you? Have you got the information you need? Do you know where to go? Do you know who to contact? Do you know where to... Sometimes at work, it goes a long way. Sometimes you're still working
Mm-hmm.
night time, midnight. People that knows what I do at BME, they'll tell you, "For me, don't sleep. This girl, we don't even know how she does it." Because you've done all that you can, but as something is popping up in your head, sometimes I can wake up in the middle of the night and just start writing all the things, just writing them down. Because the thing is stopping you, it's not allowed. So what you do, write it down. And then once you write it down, then you start navigating, how do I go from. When I wanted to start BME, after I got my papers and all of that, and I'm like, okay, I don't understand what community value was. But for me, it was a passion to say, why is it that our community don't get engaged? They don't integrate. Why is it that when I take my kids to swimming, to bowling, to scout, my children are the whole new children from our ethnic group that is there? For me, it's
Yeah.
like, okay, why then with immigration issue? Then I'm like, okay, why is it that we have to pay this huge amount of money and we don't even get any support back into the system? So I have all my whys. And then I was looking into, what can I do about it? How do I go about it? So I started looking into my local community first to say, what is available in my local community? Is anyone else already doing what I want to do? Do I have the knowledge? Do I have the requirement? Do I know what is needed for me to do this? So from this, so it's not about the time, it's about how ready are you? Have you done all your research? And thank God for technology these days. You can find
Yes.
virtually everything online.
Going online,
You
yes.
can have, so there's no timing. To answer your question, there's no timing. It all depends on individual circumstances. Are you ready? Do you have the resources? Am I still going to be available for family values? Am I ready to put the hard work into it? And most important thing, am I staying on my focus? So sometimes you start and you're getting all these big recognition of then your first day. When people hear from me, they expect a lot. But then when
Mm.
they find me, they're like, it cannot be this for me we've heard so much about now. She's just I said keep it simple. Keep it simple because if you get all this thing, get you carried away, then you lose the focus of why did you start it in the first place. Keep
Yes,
it
that's it.
keep it simple and make sure you check in. Always that's why I say write down. Write down when you want to start. And as you're
Mm.
doing it, continue to write it. So that when you get to a very certain position in life, you go back to where you started from. You don't forget where you started from. You don't
Yes,
get so big and forget your story. You
very,
know,
very important.
and get ashamed of it. Like me and now starts with talking, my life is perfect. No. If you want
Mm.
to be real in life, you need to let people know your struggle.
Yeah.
And that's what will keep you grounded. I always tell me, I'm just a small girl from Ibadan. I don't, my parents are not rich. Nobody, no, it's just life experience and always want to make a difference. So keep it simple, keep yourself grounded, keep the focus, keep doing the research till you have enough resource. And know that, yes, I have enough resource to start. And is a continuous learning. Even when you
Yeah.
start, in order to make yourself relevant, you need to continue the work. You need because there's always a change. There will always be a change in any field you find yourself. But you need to continue to make sure you're putting the team forward so you don't lose the focus and you're still able to match up and not lose the focus of why you started.
Yes. Thank you so much, Ma. In
No,
fact, that's one. It's thoroughly packed. It's full. Thank you so much. Please, if you're in the comment section, can you please try to encourage us as you're watching that you're enjoying this session? Just say something that you're enjoying this session before we continue. Thank you so much, Annie Suki, for coming. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Adenike Inspired, and here we are doing a one-to-one live session. And our guest today is Mrs. Funmi, the founder of BNA Support. I hope you've been enjoying her since we start this program. Thank you so much. Now, don't say my question is too much,
no,
because I just want our people to
no,
be
ma.
able to
I
really get,
want to give
yeah,
ask
to
your
get
question.
a lot, yes, from this program. Now, another question is this: when you start all over again, how did people around you, how did they react? Were they supportive or they were just critical about your action?
You see, one of the when you're going through stuff, when you start all over again, that's why I say it's experience. You will learn
Mm,
from why you failed the first time, and then
mm,
you're not starting from scratch. You're starting from
mhm,
a failed experience. So
mm,
every time you start all over, you're improving. You must
mm,
always measure your improvement every time you start all over. And one of the things I'm always grateful to God for is good
mm,
to always have good people around you every time of your life, and you yourself must be a good person.
mm,
It's vice versa. You cannot be wishing to have good people around you and you yourself you're not a good person. It's what you sow you reap.
mm.
That is very important. Even before I started BME, I'm people's person. I love human first. If I don't hear from someone for a while, I say, I haven't heard from this person. I just pick up and call. If they don't pick up, I'll text them. I say, I'm checking on you. Are you okay? You can't expect people to check on you when you yourself never check on anybody.
Yeah.
No matter what we go through, even people around me will tell you, I say, I don't know, maybe for me have extra time that all of us don't have. But it always, you must always have good people around you, because without good people, you can never achieve anything in life. And the thing in life, you must have two circles. You have your inner core people. That is your backbone. You see, those inner core people are your backbone. The people that are reliable. They are people that will encourage you when you're overwhelmed, when you want to give up. When even the thing you're doing is right in your face like this, and you know you haven't done it, you must have those people that have your back, whether you're there or you're not. So those
Lost.
are your inner circle. And then you must then have the another circle of people that they're there, but you relate with them the way they are.
Yes.
You understand what I mean?
Okay.
You
Yes, yes,
relate
yes.
with them the way they are. You have no expectation. It
And
means if
then,
they do well, you're okay. If they go the other way as well, it's okay. But you see, the first inner circle of people is very important. When I started BME in 2018, I remember when I launched BME was launched November 2000, and I remember giving that speech when we received the first funding to start. It was a pilot project. I said to them that, like when I was saying to you that when you want to start something and you don't know where to start, read about how. So when I wanted to start BME, I was okay. I was like, okay, you know what? At least I've got a little bit of something out of the immigration. I can work, I can do this, can do that. Let me start. I don't have the money out to start. I don't have money to do flyer or banner or all of this. I don't know how to apply for funding. I don't know what's the criteria. What is it? Where do I start? I was just telling the lady I met to say, I have a passion because I've been through so much with immigration, and I wish the laws and the rules can change. I want to do something about it, but I don't know how to do it. Then the lady told me and said, since you live around high P1, there's these people called Big Local Trust. Something. I can't remember them now. She said you can just join them as a resident member. And if you join them as a resident member, then it gives you a fit to at least present your project. At that point, I was the only black person in that group. Out of God knows, maybe 80 people. But because the passion was burning in me, I said, I don't mind. And it's in the evening. So it means it's a sacrifice. My children were still little that time. All of them were still in primary school. This was like 6 years ago. I'll find me because I wanted to. I look for a child minder. Taking my kids there. We pay with my own money. So that is broke already doing part-time job. Say, can you just look after my children? You see the thing, I'm the one that knows what I want to achieve and why
yeah.
I needed to do this. At that point,
That's
no one
beautiful.
sees what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
So I just take my kids there and say, for 2 hours, let me go to this meeting and go and see how it is. And then sometimes the meeting is 2 hours, sometimes it's 3 hours. But I go there. I see the way other people are presenting their project. I heard all the questions they're asking them. I'm listening to all the criteria that is needed. I'm listening to, okay, we need this, we need that. If you want us to fund you, even with whatever the littlest amount of money, you must provide it. So getting the information, but he's a. So that's one of the things I was telling you, that you must be ready to sacrifice. You must be ready to do that. And at this point, my children were little. I was working and I was trying to build BME on a full time base. I was working full time for BME on my own, trying to say, okay, I need to get a constitution. We need to have this. We need to have that. We need this. We need to open this account on this day or that day. We need, you're doing the work. You're doing all the underground work to build something. At that point, when I tell this one, they say, oh, why are you stressing yourself? Black people want to do charity. The way people would dismiss all of the thing you're trying.
Exactly.
But
Yes.
me, I said, you don't know my story. You don't know what my eyes have seen in
Mm,
this country.
mm,
And with the little I have learned, I'm going to do something about it. And that's why you see that I'm always passionate about immigration. I'm always passionate
mm,
about it because it's the breaking point for me. Immigration is the biggest problem you can have in this country. No matter how educated you are, no matter what certificate, you can have PhD, you can have master, you're zero. Any institution you go through, you are zero. You're no one. If you don't have your immigration status sorted. So telling people to say, you know what, we need to do something about it. We need to continue to talk about it. And that is why when I did the presentation, everyone was wild because they can see the passion. They were like, oh wow, people go through this. And the thing is, sometimes assumption, you think people know, but majority of people don't know anything,
yeah.
especially wider. So don't assume, say, oh, nobody cares. No, people cares if they hear the truth. They have the resource to show what you're telling them. They care. So one of the things I'll say to you, to anyone, is you need to put the work in. And you need to have good people with you. 6 months down the lane, I'm always the one going for outreach. My children are co-founders of BME. When they started, they say, introduce yourself. They say, we are co-founders of BME. My mom would drag us, we go and drop flyer in the whole of the houses in my area. Every time she take us somewhere, she's telling people about BME. She must tell us to take
Wow.
flyer with them. That was, I'm telling you. My
Wow.
no, they'll say everywhere I go, my mom sees a black person, she will stop there and tell them about BME. My mom will, I will take them to outreach. Then we don't have volunteer, we don't have staff, we don't have salary to pay myself. But I continue to build. Saturdays, I'm in outreach, telling people about this is who we are, this is what we want to do. And with the hard work, 6 months down the lane, I met Chenda. And Chenda came to us and she was like, Funmi, I will support you. I believe in your vision and we would try and do it. And that is what I'm telling you. You need good people that believes in your vision. And from there the story begins. We begin to have good people who have similar experience. For her, she wasn't even born in Africa. She grew up in Portugal. And because her parents are from Angola, she has experienced so much systemic and institutional thing that she was like, I can relate to what you're saying. And so you must find people that believe in your goals. You must have people. Because sometimes you will be so exhausted. So many times I'm so down. So many things you can't say to your team, to your volunteer, to your staff, to the leadership management, because they won't understand. But
I
when
don't understand.
good people around you and you tell them, they say, you know what, for me, don't worry. We'll pray about it. We'll continue to see, okay, what do we need to do about it? What do we need to do? What step do we need to take? What yes, you must have on yourself, trying to make support them. You need to have a support system. And
Yeah.
also you must have good house. Honestly, I want to say a big thank you to my husband as well. It's not like, oh, for me it's fantastic, fantastic. You need to have a happy home.
Yeah.
Make sure your home is settled and your family, your spouse, whether your husband or your wife or your children, understand why you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because most times I come home exhausted. He will have get the kids, make sure they're eating, they've done all they're supposed to. Do. You need those support. You can't do it alone.
Exactly.
Everyone around you need to believe in that goals with you while you're doing what you're doing. So when you want to do it, don't just say, no, carry your family along. Let your husband, your wife, your children, your brother, your sisters, let them be involved. Let them see why you're doing what you're doing, because those are the people you will go back to when you're tired, when you're exhausted, when you're crying because it didn't work out the way you want it to work out. They will be your support system.
Yeah.
So I will say to each and everyone to say, you see, they say charity begins from home. It's
Yeah.
simple. You cannot achieve anything if you don't have a peace of mind in your own family, don't have that strong foundation in your home. So whatever you want, you need the support of your husband or your wife or your children or your immediate family. Because when you,
Yeah.
those are the people that will say, rest. We will take care of anything else you're supposed to do. And then you can start all over tomorrow again.
Yes,
Then
exactly.
you begin to meet people in the line of work that will become sisters to you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my story. I met a lot of people at BME that have become sisters. Is a very branch, and they're calling me my son. I need to come and get him in school because I'm not well. Don't need to worry because I have people I can just call within the group and say, can you please go and pick Gary for me? Without a doubt, they'll go. They'll go and pick him, they'll take him to their house, they'll feed him, they'll bring him back later in the evening because
Yeah.
that's the same thing I would do.
Yeah.
You need to have people. So as you're building, well, don't just focus on goals, don't just focus on the career or the establishment. Focus on people. Care about, show genuine care. Things that has really helped us as BME is I always tell everyone to say our goal, you must show love. Don't, even if you can't help that person, put yourself in their situation. Just show them for them to say, sorry, I know we cannot help, but how is things going? And that's me. BME is beyond work for me. Is passion. It's something I enjoy doing. If I don't hear from anybody outside of work, I'll call them. How are you? How's your husband? How are the children? And that goes a long way for people. So
Yeah.
don't focus on, oh, I want my organization to be the better work like. The main thing that can make anything works better for you is for you to work well with people. Show
Yeah.
care, show that you care. And when you care about people, people too will care about you.
Yes,
That,
exactly.
honestly, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah. Thank you so much, ma. Thank you for answering that question so well. And
No,
seriously, the journey of starting over again is a very long, long journey. It's a very long journey. And to round it up, I just have just only one question more.
feel free
What
to
do you think?
make that one.
What do you think is the greatest myth people believe about starting over again?
The myth people believe is, what people will say. That's one of the
Hmm.
that killed the dream, that kills the focus. What will people say? The fear of what people will say. Again, the fear of unknown. To say,
Hmm.
am I competent enough to?
No.
Can I fit into this structure I want to go and put myself into me? Or can I even speak the Oyibo that the way everybody? Don't you need to have? You need to remove self doubt. No one figured it out in all everything. As you're moving along, you will find your path. So the myth, oh, what will people say? Ah, the people back home as well. What will I tell them? The people here as well. What, people's thoughts. Remove it from your head. Focus on why you want to do something. And don't look at the numbers. When I start being sometimes we organize event. It's only me and my children and my husband that don't turned up. But I
Mhm.
don't give up. I say, okay,
Hmm.
I don't give up. You continue to reach out. You continue to reach. So give up. Beginning of everything is always rough, and as you're going along, it will always be rough. The only thing
Okay.
that can help you is to keep the focus. Why
Hmm.
you're doing what you're doing? Why am I doing what I'm doing? Am I doing it because I want to get famous, get recognized, or am I doing it genuinely because I want to make impact? But once you can answer that question genuinely from your heart, you need to know why you're doing it. Is it for genuine purposes? If your mission is for genuine purposes, you will bring people because people will see genuinity in what you're doing. So
Yeah.
don't worry about self doubt. Don't worry about what people will do. What you should worry about is your own mission behind what. Don't worry about, oh, can I do it? Can I not do it? Because all of that is irrelevant. The only thing that is relevant is why am I doing what I'm doing? And trying to- and the moment you can answer that question genuinely, believe me, everywhere you go, anyone you stand in front to talk about, they will see the genuinity in you. They will see the passion in you, and that's the only thing that will take you to wherever you want to be in life. Our group was invited to House of Parliament as one of the recognized community in Suffolk on Suffolk Day. We're the only black organization that was in,
Wow.
and we have other organizations that have started before us. They've been 10 years, 20 years, been doing community work before us. But why? Because when you speak to those people, they know they can see through you. That this person is not just doing it because it's a life experience. You cannot really treat yourself to really know how it feels. I tell people I know what it feels to have nothing. So people cannot come and tell me and say, I don't even have £1 in my account. I will believe them. Whereas some people will find it difficult to believe because they've never lived the experience. You'll find yourself this stage on your lived experience. And that's what you go or wherever. Be truthful, be genuine. Don't hide your situation and start making up story. Genuine about it, and people will. So, to be honest, there's no myth. There's no the only. Don't need to worry about every other thing. The thing you should worry about is being truthful to yourself. Why am I doing what? Is it for good cause? Is it for truly making difference in people's life, or do I have my own mission agenda? Once you're able to answer that, anywhere you go, doors will be open to support based on, and that's the energy that will attract people to you.
Yes, that's true.
That's the energy that will attract people to you that want to work with you because they'll see it through you and they're like, what can I do to help this woman? And that's the story of us. Everyone that have come to volunteer, that have worked for staff, we have managed to create jobs, our own people. And I'm so glad that people are leaving BME and they have built experience. And now they can go and work in bigger organization. We have had people who have now left BME, and that is my achievement in life. People that I met that they say, I can't work at the council, I can't work at Department for Work and Pension. What do I know? How do I get there? Even though they have the degree, but they like, I can't. But now having with the empowerment and what we've done with them, many of them are working at Suffolk County Council, Ipswich Borough Council, even the ones that have moved out of Suffolk, they're getting jobs in places that you will not see our people getting jobs. Because you're being truthful to them, and that's because I've worked in an organization that out of 80 staff, I'm the only black person.
Hmm.
And so why you must know why you're doing something. You must know
Yeah.
what you want to achieve. So that's the thing that will make way for you in life. And that's what attract your audience. Why you're doing what you're doing is what you yourself should be checking yourself all the when you sit alone and you're reviewing your image, measure it to say, am I making difference? Am I achieving what I want to achieve when I said I wanted to start this group? If you cannot answer the question, then go back to why. Go back to the foundation of what
Mm.
is Christ. Honestly, there's no meeting or there. We still have to do a lot more sessions. There's so many things we can encourage our people to do to get involved. Things that people think you need money, which you don't need money. So we can always arrange for many sessions as well. If people want to do anything, it doesn't have to be in community alone. Can be in employment, can be in housing, can be in benefit, can be corporate world, can be anything. Please, anyone listening, you can always reach out to me. It's not even whether via DM or anything. Just reach out to me. I want to do this thing. And you've got Nikki as well. If it's about media, if it's about content, we're all working together for the same cause to improve our community, to create a chance for generation. Anyone is doing anything, personally, I support them. Even when I'm tired, I will still come. Even if no one in the team is able to come, they know me. They invite me to their daughter's birthday or this. I will come because I love the people. I just want to be part of your celebration. I celebrate celebration. Style is what all of us to flourish. But you can alone. So if you're out there listening to me, listening to Nick, there's anything you want to do where you don't know how to do, reach out. I don't know somebody that know. If Nika don't know, bit by bit, we start building our own circle of strong connection foundation to make that dream a reality. To
Yeah.
turn that aspiration to something that is achievable. So yes, that's it from me. Or else you guys have any question from the audience? I don't know.
Yes, that's
I
what I'm
what
about to say. If anyone in the comment section has one or two questions to ask our guest this afternoon, you can just drop it, then we'll be able to read it out loud. If you have any question, please, in the comments, or maybe later you'll be watching the replay. Just drop your question in the comments. I will definitely see it, and she also will definitely see it, and will be able to reply you. We are open to feedback and comments, and that's why we are here. We are only sharing opinion. Yes, we are not saying this is how one person is, this is how one person is. No, we are open to feedback and comments. If you have any question right now, you can drop in the comments. Then we'll answer it. And if you'll be watching the replay later after this program, kindly drop your own question as well. And if there's anything that the contribution you have on this topic, the power of starting over and over again, you are free to drop your own contribution in the comment as well. Thank you so much, man.
okay.
Like seriously, I'm so privileged, honored to have you. Hey, yeah, like seriously, have you on the air like this. Oh God, motor God. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thanks for honoring the invite.
We're all the same. We all have the same vision to support each other. That's the
Yeah.
it's not about the weight, the magnitude. All of those ones are just,
Mm.
but the main thing is let us continue to support each other. For everyone as well. Let us all. One of the problem we have in our communities, we don't support each other, and that's
Mm.
the narrative. Even at BME, because people see, you know, you can't tell people support people when you yourself never support anyone. It's
Yeah.
individual journey. Let it start with individual. And so many people that have come through us now, they know what it means to support. Even if I'm not, I'm always tell them, have you seen this person? They will call them. Let's be an individual. Like, don't be complaining. People don't support me. Who have you supported yourself? Make it a mission and teach what you. Teach your children these values as well. Everyone around you, teach them the value because If you teach everyone around you these values, you've built a community, and those people too teach everyone else that is connecting to them these values.
Yeah.
So you know, our community becomes stronger, and we support.
Yeah.
That is the most important thing. Let us, and it doesn't have to be a financial support. I always tell people, sometimes by just texting people, I say I'm just checking on you. It goes a long way, because this
Mm.
country is very lonely.
Yeah.
Like of us that are coming from Africa, that the country is always bubbling. Let us
Mm.
not forget those values. Let's still carry that values with us, to check on each other, to support each other. Genuinely, without having any hidden agenda. I'm always telling people, some people are good to you, but they have their intentions. It's when you're useful to them, they're good to you.
You know the intention. Yeah.
You're not useful to them, that's it. Not those kind of things. Do things for people without expecting anything back in return. It's a seed. Then when you two need help, you'll be surprised how God will connect someone somewhere that will just kind of give you what you need, maybe just one information you need, or what you've been thinking in your head. It will just connect. So please, I want to beg each and every one of you, if you know any information that can make people's life better, spread it, share. Please, the more we share, the more we empower, the better for our community, the better for us as women as well. So yes, I think what I will do is one more meeting with Nike, and we
Okay, ma.
talk about in especially for our children. I'm very passionate about people as well. It's not just one
Yeah.
generation. I'm always passionate about young people. And sometimes
Okay.
people are like, we don't even know which one is mother, which one is children. And when they come to tell me youth, but they say for you and your youth, God, we can't see any difference. Hey, it's better for you to get involved.
Yeah.
You yourself have to be young in your mind. I always talk to parents about importance of getting involved in your children's life.
You don't like them.
Big issue in our community. We need to we need to understand, and then I can bring some facts that are into laws, into rules to back up, let you know that your child reach this certain stage, this is what happened. If your child gets
Yeah.
like, this is what happened, and this is what you should be doing to make sure you're filling those gaps, because majority of our parents are failing in that thing, and it's really really breaking my heart every day when I see that. I'm like, what can we do? Because next generation children have to go through what we're going through, because if they do, then that means all of us have failed.
Yes, exactly.
It should be easier for them. And that's why
Yeah.
I said, so many people, when I'm talking to them, say, all these people, they will say to me and say, you, we don't understand you. I say, what now? What have I done? They'll say, all the new people, the jackpot, a busy jackpot is called. All the new
That's
people
why.
that have been coming now, they're even much, much better than all of us that has been in the system for a long time. I say, that is good now. Is that not what we want?
Hmm.
But that's what we want. We want the system to be getting better, to make life
Better.
easier.
Yes, yes,
What
exactly.
should be our vision? Things should be getting easier for each generation that comes. There shouldn't be
Hmm.
competition. There shouldn't be us comparing. Everybody's life and time and faces is different. There's a reason for
Hmm.
everything. This is their time to come, and they've made the law easier. Then let it be. That should be the joy. That should be
Yes.
what we're fighting for. That the next generation coming after won't have to go through what we went through in terms of immigration, or parenting, or housing, or employment, or whatever it
Employment.
is.
Hmm.
And so that is why we must have an open mind to say every generation that comes, things should be easier. Then we can say we're making impact.
In
Because
fact, exactly.
without positive improvement is zero. And that's
Exactly. Yes.
what I want us to achieve in times of our young people.
Okay.
In times of our young people, no matter how old they are, no matter how young, you catch them young, then you know that
Mm-hmm.
you set that boundary. So yes, let me not take over because, but we will
Yes,
not.
oh, there's no
Let me
completely.
know when you're free.
It's a very good
Instead
one
of
as well.
renting um
Okay.
advice in terms of important spiritual activities or important of days, but mainly for young people. And I'll try as much as possible to encourage as many people to join, even if it's not a live stream or
Yes, it could be physical
yeah,
meeting.
physical. We can make it face to face, but it will be your show. Don't worry, you can come and use
No
BME.
problem. Ma. I'll be looking forward for that as
But
well.
yes, let's schedule because I want more people. I want especially more parents to hear this. We need to hear it. We're not just here. Our children is our investment.
They
Among
have.
people, they're the greatest investment you can have in life. You
Mm.
can achieve anything in the world, but if your children don't turn out to be good, to be
The achievement is
manly,
nothing.
cultured,
Yeah.
to be good citizen, then what have you achieved? Nothing. So it is important that as parents we understand this and we work towards how to achieve that. We will set up some guidelines, some basic steps and more resources to help you parents struggling parents. And so you can still raise a child as a lone parent successfully.
Yeah.
you know but there's always a support, there's always a link, there's always things you can do to help you in those aspects. And willing hopefully we'll be able to and it's amazing to be with you guys.
Thank you so much, Ma. In fact, it's indeed an interesting session, like seriously. Thank you so much for coming. Thanks for honoring this invitation. And to those that are watching us, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Thank you so much. And for to those that will be watching the replay as well, let me thank you in advance. Thank you so much. So if you're watching this right now and you already feel stuck or you already having that thought to start over again, to be sincere with everything we've had on this program today, there is no anything bad in starting over again. In fact, I can say it's not a sign of failure. It is a sign of faith, strength, and growth. You just have to start. Just start it. And to what we've heard, make sure as it's coming to your mind, put it into writing. Journaling is very, very good. Just put it down. And as you progress in it, you check what you've already put down so as to track your progress. Okay, this is where I start from, and this is where I'm going, this is where I am currently. And also, the mindset you have in starting this thing is very, very important. Don't think about what people will say, don't think about how people will shame you, don't just think about anything else. Just believe in your mindset and that passion that you have, that purpose driven that you have that makes you to start this really, really matters a lot. And that will just say this is how far we'll be able to go on this month one-to-one live session. If you are watching us for the first time or you are joining us for the first time, this is Adenike channel, Adenike Inspires channel. Every Tuesday, I have a program. I call it Myth or Mag. I believe some of us here would have been familiar with that program. It's every Tuesday. Every Tuesday is Myth or Mag to come up with a phrase, we replace it. Is it a myth? Ṣọ́rọ̀ àtijọ́ ni àbí ó ṣì ń lọ lọ́wọ́? Ṣó ṣì ń exist? How powerful is it? And it is a very, very, very powerful program. So you have opportunity to join us every Tuesday, 9 p.m. on TikTok. I do it on TikTok for more engagement and also to make it more interactive. And recently, we now have the recorded version on Spotify as well. If you have a Spotify account, you can just press Meet or Mike Tuesday in the search box. It will bring it out for you to be able to listen to the recorded version. Thank you so much. And if you are yet to subscribe to this channel, please kindly do support my ministry.
Yes, so
Try as much as possible to subscribe and turn on your notification bell so you don't miss any of our program. Thank you so much, my big mommy. Thank you so much for calling. I really, really appreciate it. Like seriously, I never take it for granted. Thank you so much, Felicia. Thank you. And I believe next time when I call you, you'll be able to honor the
mm,
invite again.
anytime, this is our community, this is our generation. Anytime, feel free, just give me enough time so I can
All right, sir.
and anytime. Anytime.
No problem, ma. Sure, I will. Thank you
Thanks.
so much. Once again, everybody in the comment section. Caesar, thank you so much. Auntie Yetunde, thank you so much. Annie, I don't know that name very well. Annie, thank you so much. And to those that are coming in, going out, coming in, thank you so much. I really appreciate everyone. All right, see you all next time. Till then, keep inspiring and keep doing that thing you really have passion for. Don't stop on it. One time, it should definitely be good. Thank you, everyone.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
You. Bye.